Welcome back to The Purpose Works, and I'm Jane Lauterbach. The conversation that we are all having is how do we embrace change and navigate pivots? And at The Purpose Works, we kind of believe that we need to take a shift and we need to think about how we want to use this valuable time, this gift that we got. Yes, there are a lot of struggles as it relates to, well-being and health and all that sort of stuff. But when we think about how do we want to use this time to create better work, better workplaces, better relationships, rather than trying to fight it all the time and frankly complain about it all the time, what do we want to do with it? And that's what leaders do. Leaders at any level, it doesn't have to be 20 years of experience, but we have this gift of an opportunity to really make the changes that we want to make, to work with the ingredients that we have. And it's really all about how we want to go and face it. I always find that it's not so much focusing on the issue itself as how do we want to handle it? How do we want to take that sort of knotty problem and work it out to everyone's best advantage? And so we have a sort of a guiding principle, as Jon Kabat-Zinn kind of says, there's always going to be a wave. We have to figure out how we want to surf and how do we want to best surf in the circumstances that we are given right now. And we've developed what we call the 4P kind of principles of navigating change to the best possible advantage. And the first P is really having perspective, informed perspective, so that you can really take a look at a situation and really decide, what's the problem to be solved? What's the opportunity here? Do I want to choose to take this opportunity? And how do I want to go forward with it? And so as leaders, it's really, sort of asking ourselves, what change do we want to make either for organizations or an opportunity? What kind of change do we need to make in our own leadership? Do we want to be a leader? Do we want to be a follower? Do we want to sort of kind of take the situation and kind of, drag it along? Or how do we want to move it in a place that we feel that if we can, in a place that's going to be much more productive? In some ways, it's looking at that old sort of proverb or parable that's the three people that are laying bricks, and they ask the first person, I'm working hard to lay bricks to support my family. They ask the next person, what are you doing? I'm building a wall. Then they ask the third person, and he says, I'm building a cathedral. And so then the part of it is, what perspective do you want to put on it? The glass is half empty or half full. And what perspective do you want to take? And all of them are correct. Which ones do you want to choose? An informed perspective so that you can really decide, do I want to proceed? Do I want to take a different route? Which way do I want to go? And part of that is the sense of having positivity. What's the lens that I want to choose to be able to kind of figure out where I want to go? And it's interesting, a little bit of a backstory is our brains are not wired in any way for dealing with ambiguity. We like regiment, we like rigor, we like patterns. That's probably why many of us like to have sort of the same breakfast or lunch every day. It sort of gives us a sense of comfort. And so when change comes along, it causes all kinds of emotions to be triggered and we get off kilter. And so when we have a constant negativity bias, how do we want to choose to reverse that? And that's that notion of sort of, having resilience. Resilience is about choosing what you can focus in on and what you can't focus in on. And so do you want to be the victim? Do you want to be the warrior? And how do you want to look at something in a way that you can figure out a way to navigate out? And we all know that being positive is infectious. We want to be around people who are positive because some way we're going to figure it out, or some way we're going to appreciate what we have. The third pillar is people. And in some ways that is the most important thing. And really recognizing that without each other doing something together, sharing it. I read this it was actually a piece of fiction I was reading last night, and it says when you share a problem, it gets halved. And if you keep sharing it, it keeps breaking it down. And so when you can work with people to share a problem and to figure it out together, not only do you get to a great solution most often, but you have all these other people that you've created it with. That's how you build trust and relationship and community. The last P is purpose. And that's that notion of being engaged in doing something really of value. Because yes, it's great to be able to solve some of the small problems, and they are truly important. But a lot of what we want to do within our work is we want to apply our whole self in a way that we are in service to other people. What's going to be possible within this moment that we have right now? What's going to be possible to do something better for humanity? And to think about what are the emotions that surface within each one of us that will guide us forward in a way that we are going to be feeling fulfilled because we're doing something that's going to be, quite meaningful. The 4 Ps give us a framework from which not only to solve the big things together, but also it can be a framework just to think about some of the small things too. Embracing change is never easy, but the reward for doing so can be far greater than you even imagined. And that's the beauty in all of it. If you found this video of value, please share it with others, and we really welcome your comments too. Thank you very much.